Welcome to Life
on
Life's Terms with your host, Justin.
And it's Kenny.
So today's episode, we're going to talk about making amends to our bodies, what we have learned up to now about diet and nutrition, and how important meditation is for your health. But before we get into those topics,
shout-outs.
Here they come.
Since it is always training season, what does your meal plan look like? Is keeping a healthy diet robbing from your palate and triggering unhealthy cravings? Keep on your A game and stop cravings at the same time with Ono Poke. Ono Poke is a perfect place to stuff your face with something that ties into your fitness goals. Try the miso salmon poke, spicy Thai salmon, or the albacore tuna poke on your choice of veg, quinoa rice, or whatever. Eat healthy, eat right, eat Ono Poke.
Would you like to feel like an astronaut? Would you like to detach from this world just for a little while? The best place to do this is with our friends over at Modern Gravity, of course. For only $39.99 a month, you can have the experience of an astronaut and just float on away. Let all that stress just leave your jaw and out of your body. Please get in touch with them at www.moderngravity.ca for your first float or your next float.
Boom.
Done. Yeah. So let's talk about amends.
Like right now, I have some severe guilt. I feel like I have talc lung from smoking. And I'm like, I got to forgive myself for something. And I just got to, get past this hurdle. It's not diet, but it's part of health. And like...
Well, it's part of all of it.
Yeah.
So I think I had an epiphany last week to a degree where I realized that I made amends to all these people in my life and in my first set of steps in my recovery. And then I realized that the second person, my mom was number one, which was whatever. And then I was number two for my amends. Really, you should be number one, okay, in your amends list. And what I realized that I really jumped over, so I gave myself my financial amends and I paid all those debts and I decided I wasn't going to pollute my body anymore and all that stuff when I did that set of steps. But what I've recognized now is I'm polluting my body in a different way. Yeah. And that way is with food and not taking care of myself. And the most defeating piece of that is I put in like an hour to an hour and a half a day in the gym, depending on if it's a cardio day or a lifting day. If it's a cardio day, it comes up to about an hour and 20 minutes. And then on days that I'm just lifting, it's about an hour and 5 minutes. But that extra time is really like walking from machine to machine. You know what I mean? It's really what it boils down to. And so here I am looking at working out, training, all this stuff. And then what do? I go home and I just fucking carb load. Right? Just fucking pack it in. And I have to give it to that chronometer that Laura suggested that I use, because it actually has like a flow chart of how much fat you're putting into your body, how much protein you're putting into your body, and how much carbs you're putting into your body.
What was that app called again?
Chronometer, and that's the app. Yeah, that's the app.
Okay.
And so the only downside to it, I'm going to be straight out with you guys, is that it doesn't have all of the dietary things that are out there.
Like calorie intake?
Yeah, so they ask you to put it in. So it's kind of like a community where you just kind of contribute the calorie intake, like the labels, and then it's done and it's there, whatever. But this is what I got to is I was writing in my journal and I realized that I've never actually made an amends to my body. And I keep telling my body time and time again, why are you not responding? That's literally what I'm saying to my body. I'm saying to my body, look at, man, you need to lose weight. And it's not happening fast enough in my eyes. I'm becoming impatient with my body. And what I've recognized, every time I become impatient with my body, I quit. Like, hands down, I don't see the gains. However, you and I had a business meeting last week, and both of us couldn't wear suits because our suits no longer fit. Not in a bad way, but in a good way.
Well, I don't know, man. I'm pretty pissed because I only wore that suit like 3 times.
Sure, you can get it tailored, though. You can get it tailored. Anyways, all I'm saying is that these are... There is actually a gain. I just wasn't being open into seeing it. And like I actually wrote out an amends to my body last weekend. I've only had one relapse of serious carbs, but not shitty foods, really.
Yeah.
It was like dinner rolls and stuff with a soup, a cabbage soup or something. And that's been it since that amends. And I'm starting to recognize it actually kind of altered the thought, and like, cake isn't the best thing for me. Even though it was my birthday, I did have a cake and I had 2 cupcakes. I had a gluten-free cake though. I don't know if that makes any difference. I mean, Chronometer said it was pretty bad in calories. So that was like really my 1-day dump of real bad calories. And so anyways, I wrote that amends in my blog coming out this week. I'm actually going to write out the amends that I made, or I might take a picture of it and incorporate it into the blog so you guys can see it.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. Like, I want to work on making amends with myself because, you know, I'm really not eating the greatest. Like, I was doing a tattoo the other day and my buddy came over and he's like, "Oh, I'm just stopping at McDonald's. What do you want?" I was like, 3 McDoubles right now. Slammed those into me before I did a tattoo, and then woke up the next day and felt like death.
And I think, so it's like this, right? When you're looking at your drugs and alcohol, if you were to use, God willing you don't, but let's say you use, you recognize that as a relapse, and it's almost detrimental to you. Like, that's the first thought now. You know what I mean? If you think about drugs and alcohol, the first thought that pops into our mind now is like, fuck, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Right? And how long did it take? We had so many years of fuck-its.
Yeah.
Right? It took a long time to get... So, and this is the way how I came to a conclusion about this was, or to some sort of realization, I think, was, I can say, oh my God, that's going to fucking kill me if I look at drugs and alcohol. I need to start using that same filter with my food. That is going to fucking kill me. That's a relapse right there. That is a relapse. And I have to recognize it as exactly that. Relapses, as long as you've learned something from it, there's no loss.
Yeah.
But if you relapse and it's like, yeah, well, it's just part of the road, you're probably that's detrimental to your well-being.
Well, you have to give a fuck.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing that we have to recognize in that moment right before we're relapsing. Why is it that you're not giving a fuck?
Yeah.
Right? Like, what is it that you haven't done? And so yeah, is it a financial thing? Is it that you don't have enough money to eat right? Is it that you just truly don't give a fuck? Is it like, what is it? You have to look at what the feeling is behind the next potential action, right? So yeah, making that amends really blew my mind away. I dropped 3 pounds the next day.
That's funny.
Like, I did it, and so now my positive affirmation to my body is that I love it. Like, I actually love it. You're responding the way that you're supposed to respond. You're doing what you're supposed to do. And my amends, or my promise to my body, is that I'm not going to relapse, because I can't promise that. What I can promise, though, is if I do relapse, I'm going to bounce back into a program of recovery as quickly as possible. So by saying that takes the pressure off of me of like fucking up with a piece of cake, but at the same time knowing that I have to get back to like eating fish, having fruits, berries, vegetables, all that stuff, in order to say to my body, yeah, I do appreciate you. And that was the biggest thing about the amends. And when I realized that I've made all these amends to everybody else, and I've made a lot of amends to myself, the one that I was fundamentally missing was I wasn't even giving my body the acknowledgement of the gains that it has made up to now.
Yeah. Like, I really like how we're looking at like our food addiction kind of and comparing it to our past drug addiction. But like lots of times if I feel like eating a PB&J, or like if I feel like not eating any vegetables, like I do it. Sure,
that's fine, but also, okay, so this is also what I've learned. So we're going to touch on like what have we learned up to now. So I was listening to Rhonda Patrick, and I'm going to try to do the best that I can in what she said. She said it's okay to have a high-fat diet, provided you have low carbs. If you have high carbs and high fat, guess what you're going to do? You're going to store fat. And the reason for it is because you have too much energy and they're contrasting of each other.
Yeah.
So she said, basically, and I'm paraphrasing, it's not verbatim, but basically what she said is if you're lifting and you have high intensity energy, carb load. If it's your rest day off, eat fat, because that fat will give you a longer increased time of energy, and you won't have to feel like you need to fill up. And it's a slow burn. Whereas when you're eating carbs, you need fast output energy in order to burn that shit off. And you need to do it right before you're in there doing whatever you're doing of whatever heavy energy output you're doing. That could be cardio, lifting, it doesn't matter. And she was saying, as long as you can separate your carbs from your fats, you're going to be okay. You just have to keep those increments in its place where they're not contrasting each other. If you're going to have a lot of carbs one day, you want very little fats. And if you're going to have a lot of fats one day, you don't want to be eating a fatty steak with like garlic bread. Probably not a good move.
Fuck that shit.
Right? And the reason why it's not a good move is because the carbs in the bread is so heavy in contrast with the fat. So it's not about saying to you, you can't have. It's about right now, it may not be appropriate, but you can have it later. And I like that thought way more than depriving myself of something. Because the second, and I've said this to people before, the second I say, no, I can't eat that, guess what Justin's going to go buy? He's going to go buy a fucking king-size Reese's Pieces fucking cup. Like that's going to happen. You know what I mean? So I cannot, I'm not the one who, like, I will never say to myself, you can't have cocaine. I can have cocaine all day long if I want. It's just probably not good for me. That's where my mind is at now when it comes to, like, it's not that I can't have booze. It's that it's probably not good for me to have booze.
Yeah.
Right? I have a choice. It's not about depriving myself of it. It's just not beneficial for me to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that comes down to like what I like to refer to all the time, like when I'm talking about like changing belief systems and using like affirmations and stuff, is like it's our subconscious programming.
Sure.
Because like it, if I just like get a whiff of McDonald's, like I'm jonesing.
Yeah, yeah.
And
when I was in that abstinent period of a couple of years, I didn't get that. That went away until just my recent relapse like a month ago. And now the relapse that happened a month ago, it's really hard. Just like it is with my drugs and booze, man. Like if I know if I have one, I'm fucking done. Like I'm done. I'm on the road to jail. I know that. So if I look at my food the same way, if I have one, Christ, the next 4 fucking days are going to be tough. It feels like a detox almost. You know?
It is. That's the thing is it is. And once we put those toxins into our body, and that includes sugar, you get like this sugar monster that's in you, like, feed me more. And it's sending these neurotoxins in your brain, and it causes cravings the same way that drugs do. We were never addicted to cocaine until we did cocaine. And it created this whole new pleasure center in our brain that we were that's foreign to us. And then you want to go back to that because it was something that was like, it was such a surge of good feelings. Well, it's like same thing with like these high fat shit fast food places where it's like, boom, you're eating it and you get all this dopamine and you're like, oh, this is so tasty, oh my god, and you're having like a mouthgasm. And then afterwards,
guilt and shame comes in
afterwards. You start like, then you go eat a salad and you're like, where's that good feeling? Like, oh my god.
See, I've always gotten a good feeling from eating good food. Like, not fast food. Like, if I eat fast food, it's because I was hungry. So you ever hear HALT, right? Hungry, angry, lonely, tired.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, but so signs that
you're going to relapse.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So before I eat any of that shit, first thing that happens in my mind is I'm probably hungry. I'm lonely. There's nobody else in the car. I'm feeling tired. And I'm fucking angry. Why am I angry? Because I'm fucking hungry. Right? It's a fucking vicious cycle right then and there. So what I need to practice before I leave is I need to look at it as, have you eaten something before you walked out the door? And whatever you ate, is it going to give you enough energy for the amount of time that you're going to be out today? And if not, it's like your relapse prevention plan. What is around for you to get healthy food? So like, for instance, typically in the Edmonton area, there's a McDonald's and out of every 10 McDonald's, there's probably 8 grocery stores by that McDonald's. You can choose to go to McDonald's, or you can choose to go get a quick salad over at whatever grocery store is close to there. Mm-hmm. Granted, that grocery store probably isn't like the best organic fucking salad, but it's better than the fucking burger you're about to smash into your fucking voice hole. You know what I mean? Like it's probably better than that. Right. So all I'm saying is I actually had to go back to the basics of recovery and look at it as, what is my relapse prevention plan before I walk out the door? You know, where am I? And if I don't know where there, like, is there a Starbucks? Starbucks food is sometimes a lot healthier than going to fucking McDonald's. And the reason for it is they will sell you shit that says 360 you know exactly how many calories is on it, and it'll even tell you how much protein is in it. They're what I like to call chronometer friendly, or like calorie counting friendly. Okay, they're very, very, very honest about what they're giving you. And so those thoughts actually happen in my mind now before I leave. But again, after eating a salad, I always felt good. Especially this long in recovery, being this unpolluted for this amount of time.
Feel it.
Oh yeah, and like we were talking about the aspirin.
Yeah.
I take one aspirin and it actually gets rid of a headache.
Yeah.
Like that was unheard of. Even when I was a kid, that was unheard of. Like I needed 3. You know what I mean? Even as a kid. So yeah, like I can feel the energy that comes from that, or like the long endurance of energy from eating a hard-boiled egg. I can actually feel that now. Whereas before it was just like,
it's just an egg.
Well, or it was I'm just putting energy in my body. Right? Like a lot of military guys, that's what you hear them say. It doesn't matter what you put in your body, just fucking put it in there, get energy, and fucking destroy shit. You know, like that's their mentality. But I think that for some of us, that just doesn't work, especially I think on this side of recovery, right? When you're in sobriety and in recovery, and you almost need to learn that loving ability of intuitiveness to your own maelstrom of your body. Mm-hmm. That thinking pathology, or that thinking ideology of it was just energy, smash it in and fucking get going. I don't think that works for us, really. I mean, maybe it does. It doesn't for me, though.
Well, like in our society, in North America, not too many people eat for energy. They eat for taste.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, definitely.
When I was learning about detoxing and nutrition and stuff, the person that was teaching me used to make fun of me. Like, I'd be like, oh, but this doesn't taste good. She'd be like, what are you, a child? It has to taste good? That's good for you. It's going to heal your body. Eat it. Don't eat that. That's going to kill you.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I don't know. I've never been opposed to any fruits or vegetables or any of that stuff that, like, even, like, some people are like they don't like protein shakes, right? Some protein shakes out there taste. I have never had one that I didn't like.
Really?
Yeah, and I'll use water with it. It doesn't matter to me. And the taste doesn't, like, it just doesn't really affect what, like, it doesn't matter to me. And I've tried gold whey product or whey gold product. Right now I'm using Muscle Tech Nitro Ripped, and I'm definitely seeing fucking benefits from that.
Yeah.
Like, definitely seeing benefits from that. So, like,
I have mixed emotions right now about what I want to even do with my body. I don't want to have to go out and buy any more suits.
Well, it's one of these things too, like, I don't know. I mean, I think, like, when it comes to suits and stuff, even that stuff, you can always get it tailored. Tailors are cheaper than buying a new suit.
Yeah.
Like, there's always a way around it. Like, that's why suits are great for that kind of stuff. But even in regards to health and working out and all of that, you can work out all you want, but I don't think really working out is, I mean, if I'm going to outweigh nutrition and working out, what's going to burn more fat? Nutrition will.
Yeah, well, they say abs are made in the kitchen, but I also know guys that eat whatever the fuck they want. And
When I was fighting, it was like that. I could eat whatever the fuck I wanted, and I knew in 2 hours I was going to pass out of my body. Like, I knew that. I could eat whatever the fuck I wanted. It was not sticking.
yeah,
Like, but what I recognized, though, living that way, I had to work out really hard. Like, really hard in order to have that ability. Like, I was working out 6 to fucking 8 hours a day, man. I was in the gym with like still a full-time fucking job. Like that was a lot. Like I lived and died in the fucking gym, and the injuries and the fucking anxiety of an injury, thinking that I won't be able to work out and I'm going to get fat because I'm not working out. And oh Christ, that was horrible feeling. That was horrible feeling. And to be on this side of things where it's like, okay, let's figure out what balance is. And for a guy who fucking crashes and burns all the time, that's what I do. This whole balance idea is like really spinning my fucking mind. You know?
I'm listening to the 10X rule.
Okay.
And on the way here, I was listening to it, and he's like, I don't want balance in my life. I want to be like on tilt the whole time. I want to take massive action. They're like, there's no time for balance if you want to be successful in what you're aiming after.
Well, I mean, I agree with that as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You know, as an entrepreneur, there is no off the gas. Like that doesn't happen. However, the increment of your time throughout your day has to be balanced with everything that's going on in your life.
Yeah. Well, we have to, you know, if you're overworking yourself, then you are going to be more prone to injury. And
buddy, I fell down the fucking stairs and like busted my shit up. And that was a bad fucking, I was so afraid to look down and see my ankle like not straight.
yeah.
I was fucking shitting bricks, man. I was like, I cannot afford this right now. I can't do this right now. And then that was in my blog. Like I was like, God didn't give a shit. Like he's like, no, you need to sit the fuck down. Like you're gonna hurt yourself here, right? So what's some of the stuff that you've looked up over the last couple weeks that has really been pretty like changed your thoughts about diet and nutrition? Has there been anything that you've looked up over the last couple of weeks that? Well,
like I haven't seen anything that I wasn't already aware of. I tried watching Heal.
Yeah.
The documentary that you watched, and I really enjoyed that, but that's stuff that I was already aware of. You know?
Sure.
And I've been preaching that shit. People thought I was some woo-woo hippie freak because I was like very cautious. I was already aware of, you know, like what foods, and you know, if you can't pronounce it, it's probably a carcinogen, you know. And
yeah.
You know, I've been trying to change my parents' belief system and my family's belief system about food for the longest time. And so like coming into Diet and Nutrition Month, I didn't really hear anything or see anything that I wasn't already aware of. I am really excited though to go get the DNA testing done and Meridian.
Well, it's an energy test, right? So
the pulsing, right?
Yeah.
It's pulsing. So she's gonna check our pulse, and then by the consistency of it, whether it's stronger on the out pulse or weaker on the out pulse, is going to determine which whether I have like inflammation and stress coming or around my organs or whatever, and or if it's weak, then there's some form of degenerative something going on, something's lacking, something's starting to fail.
Yeah.
So that's news. That's a new experience for me.
That will be, even for me to come to the place of even looking at homeopathy in the begin. Like, I'm not saying that I was opposed to it. I honestly believe that the body can heal anything. I did so in my early recovery, I did a brain scan to see how much damage a University of Alberta thing where they were giving MRIs for the brain, like CAT scans for the brain,
Yeah.
to see the damage that addiction causes on the brain. And because I'm a addict of like
a wide spectrum of drugs.
Yeah, they wanted to see, because I did a lot of acid. So like there was a time in my addiction where I was 3 months on an acid trip. It just never came off. And then after that, when I found out what pure, what's that shit called? Molly.
MDMA.
Yeah, but the pure MDMA, like I would start fucking mainlining that shit, like off the brown wafers, right? Like I would fucking break that down. And so then I was another 6-7 months doing that, and then didn't lose my mind. Like it was fucking fear and loathing every third day. Like that's what I was living, that in like my early teens, you know? So anyways, because of that, they wanted to see like the detriment on my brain. And then I just passed 5 years of recovery. And so they asked me to come back, went in, and my brain is completely healed. There's nothing wrong with it. The only thing that I still have is some, like I have photographic memory. So there's some issues with my memory.
Yeah.
But that's more from it could be pineal gland issues. But who really knows? They can't really see that deep. So I definitely believe in the body's ability to heal. And even when I first lost all my weight and I was training really hard and fighting, that was definitely an inside out job. My body definitely figured that out. But what I recognized, like I said, going back to the amends thing, what I did then was I actually said sorry to my body. As much as I was I didn't think that pollution with drugs and alcohol was really pollution. Right? Like I didn't think that. I just thought, well, I'm just fucking overfeeding it. And I basically said sorry to my body, and my body performed. And that was under very harsh conditions. So this time the conditions are not as harsh in my environment. And I'm starting to see the benefit of saying to myself, yeah, it's okay. It's okay to like lose this weight. It's okay not to be so stressed out. It's okay to like perform. You're doing well. This is going to take us a while, and we're in this for the long haul. This isn't like we're going to burn all this weight off and then just stop. You know what I mean? This is coming to a place of like balance, right?
Yeah, well, you can't expect to just like lose weight without changing your lifestyle.
Well, exactly.
Because like you can do whatever diet or whatever.
Well, but that's depravity, right?
And then you're just going to gain it back when you get back in the groove of things.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and you'll gain double back. What, like I've done many diets, like especially for fighting. Right before you go into a fight and you have to cut. What do you think that is? It's a fucking diet. And you're cutting. You can cut a bad way or you can cut a good way. And the majority of times fighters cut a bad way, and they don't have the brain liquid that it takes in order to take a fucking good knock-in, man. And that's why concussives happen all of the time in fighting. Even when you're fucking training, you're not even meaning to take a good shot to the head. And the lightest pop, you're concussed. And the reason why it happens is because you've been cutting all the water out of your diet and you're just fucking dropping it. Right?
Yeah.
So,
but like, you know, everybody has different motives, right? You know, some people want to train their body for fighting. Some people, you know, they want to do it just for vanity.
Yeah.
You know, some people don't need to. You know, they just blessed genetically, and they don't need to train or diet or fuck all, and they just, you know, they stay at a good shape that's, you know, that they're comfortable with. And
lucky fuckers.
Know, so everybody's different, right? And that's why we can't like get too, you know, this you can't say that when it comes to diet and nutrition. This is the way. Because it depends on, you know, whatever somebody's interest is and what they're after.
That's kind of like the process of recovery too from drugs and alcohol. I mean, I'm a big book thumper all the way through, but I'm also the first guy to tell you that that's only one way of recovery.
Yeah.
And even in that strain of recovery, there's many different ways of going about it within the strain of Blue Book recovery. Like there's many different ways of doing it. And so I had even prefaced that in the blog saying that I'm going to try to do the best that I can and learn as much as I can over this month and provide as much information. But all I'm really hoping that people might be able to seek out of this is the process that's involved in order to learn your diet. You know what I mean? I think we were really lucky to be able to reach out to Laura and all of the information that she provided us. Back to that health thing or Heal. That movie on Netflix. If you haven't watched it, I encourage anybody to watch it. One of the things that I really liked about that movie was they weren't propagandized. Like, they weren't pushing anything upon anybody. And what I have found in other documentaries, even on Netflix, is that it's propaganda in order to buy in to this certain way of living.
Yeah.
And really the end means out of that documentary, and I don't think I'm spoiling anything by saying this, is meditation is very, very important. It's very important for your healing. I mean, you and I go and float, and it's become a part of our cycle or our routine, so to say. And it's important to take that time out. Like, even if you go on Modern Gravity's site, it talks about how it can help your diet. And the reason for it is because when you get in there, your cortisol level will drop because you're calming down, which is kind of a big deal. Like, cortisol is a huge deal for people who gain weight, You probably have a lot of cortisol and you're probably really stressed out. And daily meditation doesn't necessarily mean you have to float, but it'll definitely help that stress level come down.
Yeah, it talked quite a bit about the meditation in that documentary. And I really like the way Dr. Joe Dispenza explained like how he believes that he healed his broken back. He was riding in a bike race or whatever, or a marathon, and a vehicle hit him from behind.
Yeah.
And ended up breaking his back, and he was laying in the hospital, and they told him that he was never going to walk again. And he refused to accept that. And he would practice every day using creative visualization of reconstructing his spine in the way that it should be, in his imagination. You know what I mean? Like,
mind's eye. Yeah, mind's eye.
Yeah, in his mind's eye. And they say in that documentary that it's so powerful, to create that image inside your mind's eye of like what it is to be healthy. What's your ideal health look like and feel like?
But at the same time, I think you have to investigate that. Like, it's one thing to come up with an idea, right? But is the idea in your mind just an image of what you are? Or is it also a piece of like what you're putting into your body, right? Because that, and you and I have talked about this in other subjects, that will actually help that subconscious change. Because if you start seeing that blueberries in the morning help you become the idea of what you want, not because of vanity, but because that's, like, for instance, when Laura asked me, well, why is it you want to lose weight? I was like, well, my back hurts, my knee hurts.
Yeah.
Like, it has nothing to do with the way I look. It has everything to do with I'm tired of being in fucking pain and having to move in my chair all the time and can never really get comfortable. Like, I don't want to live this way. So, again, in your mind's eye, you should have that projection of your image, but you also need to find out what that fuel is, for a lack of a better term, or what the nutrients are that is coming into your body, because then you're going to recognize that is loving yourself, as opposed to smashing some fucking burger through that voice hole in your head. You know what I mean? But that's how you change that. Right? Yeah. Even in the steps, they talk about a practice of daily meditation. And if you really look in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, they're not asking you to meditate at the end of the day. They're asking you to meditate in the beginning of the day. It's supposed to be the start of your day, not the end of your day.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a huge thing. Like it's a big thing. Nobody understands why meditation is as important as it is. All they can tell you is that your thoughts guide you to wherever you're going. And you need to recognize that is in the Catholic world, that's the image of God. That's the ability that you have, right?
Is to be able to use your mind's eye.
Yeah.
And have that come to be.
Yeah.
Well, that's manifestation.
Yeah, but it's also supposed to be in the practice of serving your higher power. So, like, for instance, in the Bible, they said God's temple is your body.
Yeah.
Well, go work on his temple.
See you in the gym.
There you go. Right? Go work on his temple. Imagine what that temple can look like. Imagine what that temple can do. Imagine how it can serve your higher power. Imagine that. And it will become. Ask and you shall receive. Right? So, like, that's...
I like the whole concept of the Bible when I, like, make it so, like, we are each God. You know, like, God is in us. And
well, that's what they were always talking about. But the preface that you always want to be on is you don't want to cross the line of Luciferian belief. Because even though we are in the image of God, the only piece that we have to make sure that we never compromise is our servitude to a higher power. We serve the higher power. The higher power does not serve us. And the only things that he's ever asked of us is, one, to serve him. Secondly, to take care and be a steward of the environment that he's given us. We're on Earth, and we're not here to tell Mother Earth the way it is. We're here to be a steward of Mother Earth. We're here to take care of what God has created. We're not here to rape and pillage what God has given us.
And that includes our own bodies.
That's right. It's a blessing to you could have been, I don't want to come across as a Buddhist, but you could have been a pig. And how shitty would life be rooting around in the fucking mud, eating like a savage, anything that comes in front of you without even a quarter of the thought process that you have in your brain now.
Well, like,
but your body's the same thing. I mean, there's a reason why they use pigs to analyze human body. Okay. Now, but my point is this: the blessing that you have is you have the ability to be a fucking human.
Yeah.
Don't let that. You could have been a pig, but you're blessed to be a human.
Do you believe at all in reincarnation?
Not really.
I kind of do. And like, it feels right that if somebody is like a degenerate their whole lives, you know, they don't take care of themselves, they hurt other people, stuff like that they come back at like a lower consciousness level.
I mean, I can understand it as in energy, right? But I have a very Catholic view of what death looks like, right? So like the Catholic view of what death looks like is we're all waiting to get into the kingdom of heaven.
We're already there.
No, you're in hell. That's the reality, because if you listen
to your reality, my friend.
I mean, the Bible said to us that everything on earth comes from the deceit of the evil one. And this is why everything that we have on earth doesn't come with us. The only thing that God wants is the purification of you. He's not even going to take your flesh. He's only taking your soul. Because that's really and that gift that he gave you of a soul is the one thing, that consciousness, that's the one thing that keeps you on the right track. That's the one thing that tells you, I mean, we all knew murder was bad even before we were told it.
Yeah.
That's what he gave you. That's what separates us from the animals. Because I tell you what, man, a bear, I'm sure, does not feel any morality issue when they kill a cub in order to throw the sow in the heat.
Yeah.
That's the consciousness that we have. And there's very few of us in the human realm that are that 1% that will rape and pillage and be just straight sociopaths. A very small portion of our society are actually like that. The majority of us are good people. The majority of us actually want to do good. Our means just, you know, we could go back into that ideology of I'm not an actor, I've just become a director. And that's where I always get fucked up. If I believe that I'm a director playing God, I'm in big trouble. I can recognize how my image is like God, such as meditating and all of these things. But I do this in order to have servitude for the higher power that I understand. I don't do it for my benefit. I do it to be of a benefit and servitude. I guess that's a bit of a different perspective, right?
Yeah. Like I take bits and pieces out of all different types of religions and just apply what feels proper.
I was in a...
Because realistically, none of us really know what the fuck anything is. You know, we can learn as much as we can from books that were written or from people that channel energy or entities. And, it really comes down to,
yeah.
If it works for you, good.
I guess I did what I didn't suspect is getting into this whole health thing, the dive into spirituality. I didn't expect that, really. And the reason why I didn't expect that is because I truly come from a scientific background. So I was really wanting to dive into like the pH level of a body and all of that, the chemistry of a body and how the molecular structure of what metabolization looks like from a molecular structure, right? Which is really where Rhonda Patrick is. That's where she is. So I was really wanting to go down that lane with a hard fucking right and a hard left if I had to take it. But what I've come to recognize now is that,
hey, science and spirituality are one and the same.
To a degree. I mean, I did a lot of research in university on quantum physics. That's a huge deal for me, and astrophysics. So I can see where they couple, but I can also see where it might not actually, the lines cross, but they're also parallel to each other. And sometimes they are away from each other and then come back to a paralleling degree.
Yeah.
That's why I was so intrigued when I went into discernment for the Catholic faith, how deep that went. Because I don't think I would have ever learned about myself in the intimate capacity that I've learned myself, and even coming to the realization of the amends that I needed to make as quickly as I did without that, learning that intuitiveness. I would have just let that shit go for another 4 or 5 years, looking at my body going, why the fuck am I still borderline obese?
Yeah.
I'm pretty suspect that would have happened. And I think that's there's a comment on one of the blogs that came out last week where one of the readers/listeners basically said that they didn't recognize how much they were actually damaging their body through what they were putting through their yap hole. They didn't realize it, and they needed to ask the question of, what is it that I dislike about myself so much? Because that's the ultimate question. And when I even did that in inventory, so through the steps they talk about doing inventory, I realized that there's nothing that I don't like about myself, because everything that I'm not liking is changeable. Right? So my weight is changeable. This pain is changeable. It will leave. There's nothing that I don't like about myself. That's your inventory. And what I realized is I needed to tell my body that's where the amends piece came. It's okay, man. You're doing the best you can. Good for you. You're doing what you're supposed to do. Because the mind and the body are two separate entities, just like, in my opinion, spirituality and science. The brain is science. The body is spirituality.
I don't know, man. I can't agree with that.
Well, the way how I see it is your heart has its own
brain.
Yeah.
So does your stomach.
And it's different from your head, man.
Yeah, but they're all connected.
And your head is the one that tries to make logic, and your heart doesn't try to make logic.
No, but
science is logic and spirituality is the thing that's on the outside of logic. Yet I'm not saying, fuck, man, I've seen things that have happened in a spiritual realm that people would say that didn't happen. Well, no, it happened. I saw it. You could see it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's the only reason why it's unlogical is because the logic of why it's happening doesn't make sense, but it's happened. Doesn't mean it's any less it's any less logical. All it means is that the logic in it just like you can't conceive of how or why, but it did. Whereas your brain, you understand the logical process of why you came up with what you came up with through your thinking pathology. You get that. When your brain makes a decision and some shit, like when you get shit in your lap, like shit just happens for you. There's no logical reason why it did. It just fucking did. But when you manipulate something and you're thinking through it and it happens, that's because that was the logic of your brain trying to make that happen. That wasn't will. That was you pulling the strings like a puppet master. And I think the pineal gland itself is intuitive to your heart. That I'll agree with.
I think that it's connected upwards.
Well, we say it's an inside-out job, right? You have to fix the heart before you can fix the mind. 100%. And the only thing that you really have to defeat is your thinking. That's all you really have to defeat. Once you can get that in check, the gates will open.
So, have you ever used creative visualization to lose weight?
Sure, that's what I was saying when I lost weight as a fighter.
So you like picture yourself
100%
shredded. That's like I tried
100%. And that image, that's the pineal gland. That's your mind's eye. The pineal gland is your mind's eye. So we'll make that clear. That's why when you go into Roman times, and they'd have a pine cone. Okay?
Yeah.
You know what that pine cone was representing? Your pineal gland. The reason why they call it a pineal gland is because it looks like the ass end of a pine cone. And the way how they know that is because what Romans would do is they would rip open a guy's fucking brain and they would see that pineal gland, and where that pineal gland is sitting is right in the center of your forehead where your eyes are connected. That's the one thing that all of your senses are connected to. Mm-hmm. Yet it doesn't provide you anything. And the only thing that you can connect that pineal gland to providing you anything with is the imagery inside of your head. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm saying the pineal gland is attached to the heart in some sort of spiritual connection. Because if you ever... So I'll put it to you this way. Check out there's this documentary about the chemical reaction of the heart. So the heart will give off different electrical pulses, and then you ever feel like a flood of a good feeling, and it sometimes feels like it comes from the front of your head to the back of your head? If you ever get that sensation, the reasoning for that is because it's flowing through your pineal gland. And your pineal gland is telling your brain, let's put out some dopamine. That's like if you're ever using your pineal gland when you're meditating and you start, so I'll start with the color gray, because that's neutral for me. If I'm ever having a hard time sleeping, I can picture the color gray in my mind and I'll usually fall asleep. And then from gray, I'll go pink. From pink, I'll go sun orange, then red. And those are the colors. And I'll do that all the way through in order for me to be able to practice the imagery that you're talking about. Okay? So what ends up happening is there are certain colors that will actually make me feel like I've had half of an orgasm. I don't actually get physically excited, but the brain is responding in a way that I would be able to equate to as what it feels like after an orgasm.
Some gamma.
Exactly. And what was it coming from? It was coming from the association of color. Had nothing to do with like a specific physical image.
Yeah.
And yet I can feel that palpitation in my heart. And that's why I have to start calming my heart down. Right? I have to fixate on that middle piece in my mind with my breathing to make my heart rate calm down while I'm experiencing this. So this is why the pineal gland, don't ever get that lost upon yourself on what that is. Because that's the one part in the brain that nothing attaches to except for your senses and your heart. Like
I've seen it related to the Eye of Horus.
So that was a way of depicting it. Because what we have to recognize too in those times is most of the world couldn't read, even in the hieroglyphics and all of that stuff. Yeah. So I did a huge paper actually on Egypt for geomatics.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the Catholic Church. Like, why did they teach in the way of sacraments and like theatrics? It was because most people didn't understand how to read. And so it was much easier to visualize what they're trying to teach you than it was to like try to, because you could have a vision, and then just like this podcast, you can have a vision of like the picture that I put up for the clips, and then next thing that you get is all of the words that we say behind it. So that's a picture says 1,000 words, and a word say half of that, right? Mm-hmm. That's exactly what those pictures, even in Egyptian time, were about. It was about making a symbol and then giving the narrative behind it. Fuck, they do it in the news all of the time. It's still practiced today.
Yeah.
Because again, like I said this a long time ago, is that our conversation skills or our articulation of information being spread through language sucks.
Yeah.
It's shit. Like really, it's shit.
Well, the English language is one of the least descriptive languages.
Well, that's because the grammar comes from Germanic. So like most of the vocabulary comes from Latin for the most part.
Yeah.
And our grammatical structure comes from the Germanic language. So it's German. Like it's very easy for an English person to learn how to speak German because the language and the rules in speaking is the same thing. That's why it's difficult to learn how to speak French, because it's all backwards. Right? Like that's how it feels as you're learning it. Like you talk about the subject before the action and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yoda.
Store I go.
Yeah.
You know, instead of I'm going to the store.
No, like Yoda.
Store I go. Right? So like, and I think that also plays a part too in the way how we feel through the heart and the pineal gland. Because like I'll tell you this, I still think in French.
Do you?
Oh, 100% I do. If I'm counting, working out, in my head I will count in French, and as soon as it comes out of my lips, it's in English.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, and even like when I'm meditating, it's in French. Like that's how I meditate. When I dream, it's in French. I don't dream in English.
I can't relate to any of that. I have nothing to say to that being.
Well, you're
primitive.
Well, you're singular. You're singular linguistic, right? Yeah. But yeah, that's why I. But you know what though? That being said, if you were to listen to French, even on the radio, use your pineal gland, you would learn it a lot faster if you were just to immerse yourself in it. Because you don't have a choice. See that?
Put it on while I sleep.
I just heard this a little while ago too. Did you know that you would make better decisions thinking in a different language than the language that you are native to speaking?
Why?
I didn't recognize it, but it's true. So like, well, because you're actually thinking about what you're saying and how you're putting it together.
You got to think about it twice, basically.
That's right. That's right. So like, one of the things that I had learned too, and we can even practice this with the diet and nutrition, the health stuff, is before you go and make a shitty decision of what you're going to eat, meditate about what it's going to make your body look like. Like we say, play the tape to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, play the tape to the end about what you're going to stick into your fucking body.
Huh.
Do the same thing. And it's a double think.
You know what? Yesterday morning, we went to this bakery on 118th Ave in the ghetto.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But I bought, for the first time ever, like right from the bakery, hot, fresh buns.
Yeah, amazing.
Fucking orgasmic.
Yeah.
I ate a hot one, like, because, I was like, hurry up, get me home. I stuffed these buns in my jacket so they'd stay hot. And I ate one in the car. No butter, nothing.
Yeah, you don't need that.
It was so good.
Yeah.
And like, I felt like I was high on cocaine eating this hot, fresh bun.
I do now like sourdough.
Yeah.
I like sourdough now.
Yeah, with a lot of butter on it.
I didn't like it before though. No, I don't need really butter. I like it as a dipper.
Oh, yeah.
In soups?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my go-to. And like, I do eat meat, but I eat probably more vegetables than I do eat meat. Like, I would say my meat diet is like 3 good dishes a month. probably about.
I seen this thing on Facebook this morning, and it was a depiction of 6 animals. They had like a cougar, a tiger, and I think it was like a mountain lion. And then they had a hippo, a cow, and some other fat animal. And all the fat ones were vegetarian. And all the shredded ones were carnivores.
Well, I'll blow. You haven't watched it yet. What the Health? So I'm going to say this. This was one of the things that they had fucking crossed in that movie, as they said. You ever notice that like gorillas, they only eat herbs, and they're way more, like they're way stronger than any human. What they're trying to say is that a primate like a gorilla is like us. That's not true. A gorilla is not even like they're close to us, but what's actually closer is like an orangutan. An orangutan is like Africa's rat. It will eat anything. They've actually trained dogs to stay with them. So like they'll take a dog like a puppy, and they'll feed the puppy every once in a while, and every time the dog wants to leave, they'll grab it by the tail and they'll pull it back in. And the reason why they do this is because the dog will alert them when somebody's coming. And then they can all flee. Shit you not. And then the dog, once it's about 2 or 3 years old, will follow the orangutans because the orangutans have been fucking feeding it. Okay? So that's closer to us. Now, when they were talking about the gorilla's digestive system is nowhere near ours. They were trying to depict that it was. It's not. The fucking gorilla has 2 stomachs because that's what it needs to do in order to like get through all of those herbs. Its system is way longer of a digestion system than you and I could even fucking imagine. Okay? So like for them to say that we're close to that, we're not. We're not even close. I mean, sure, they have more muscle mass, so on and so forth, but God only knows like what kind of chemicals or testosterone or estrogen is being pumped through their system. I mean, they are not the closest relative to us. I mean, chimpanzees are the closest relative to us, if anything, even between orangutans and fucking gorillas. And chimpanzees they are cannibals. They'll fucking eat each other and they're tribal, right? Like you can't say that the gorilla is even really that close to us. I mean, a fucking pig is close to us, even when it comes to like digestion and shit. Pigs will eat meat, like hands down. You like the old like the old line from what was that movie? Hannibal Lecter. You want to get rid of a corpse? Just don't feed the pigs for a week.
Yeah.
That's a real deal, man. Like, yeah, like, so to say, I mean, we can pick anything. I mean, shit, you know, humans are just like fucking eagles, I guess, you know, or we're like, whatever you want to say. I mean, you can just say that shit. It doesn't mean that it's real, you know? It'll be interesting to see what your perspective is after you watch that movie, What the Health.
Yeah, I'm excited to check it out.
Because it's pretty wild. And like you were saying, sure, like you know or you've read a lot of this stuff. I would encourage you to start, like, just look at some of the shit that's out there, do the research, and bring it to the table for all of us to consume from you.
For me, I gotta start applying it more. Like that's my biggest thing. You know, I know right from wrong. You know, I know what's good for me and what's not. It's just for some reason I don't apply it. It's more of a psychological thing with me than a lack of knowledge or an ignorance to what it is. It's weird, man. It's deep with me, and like my struggle is like talking myself into it, or like I don't even want to have to talk myself into it. I just want to like innately make the fucking right decision when it comes to like everything.
So let's look at that then. So I mean, it boils down to we don't have to say exactly, but how many negative activities do you have going on in your life that don't show you that you love yourself innately?
I don't know, a few for sure.
Like 3, 4?
Yeah, I'd say around there.
Okay. So the one that I had was my diet.
Yeah.
That was my inventory.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I recognized right away was, one, I'm powerless. I had to accept that. I'm powerless over my diet. I shit the bed on that motherfucker every day if it's in my own hands. And I have to ask for help.
Yeah.
The universe, whatever it is, I have to ask for help. Then I need to trust in that higher power that it's going to help me. It's going to return me from sanity. Because it's fucking insane for me to eat all this bullshit and think that I'm going to... It's just like you. It's insane to believe that the negative shit that you're doing is going to change somehow. And you're just going to innately know how to change. That's fucking insanity.
Yeah.
Because you're doing the same shit over and over again, expecting different results. Right? That's insane. So you need to accept, one, you're powerless. You can't do it. You need help. And that help's not coming from you. That help is going to come from an external power from you that you can't see, and it's perfect.
But I have to ask for it.
On a daily contingency, even sometimes minute by minute. Fuck, when I was in early recovery, buddy, there was days I was fighting for 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. I just want 5 minutes. God, give me 5 minutes where I don't have to think about drugs and alcohol. Just 5 minutes. Please, God, just give me that 5 fucking minutes. Can you give me 5 minutes? Just 5 minutes. I want to go home today, God, and I don't want to think about drugs. Can you give me that?
Yeah.
That's where you're at. It's the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay? Then from there, you have to start. Now you've got trust. So you know you can rely upon him. He'll get you through those 5 minutes. He'll get you through those 10 minutes. Then the next thing that's got to happen is you got to ask yourself, let's do inventory. It's not about what it is that you're looking at. You need to do inventory on all the people that you have resentments against. You got to look at that. Why? Why do you have a resentment against them? And then after you do that, you need to look at all the people that you're angry with. And why are you angry with them? And then once you do that, then you have to look at all of the people that you may have, like, you may want to jeopardize them. So you're like, and we all have this where you're like, I'll fucking get that motherfucker. You know what I mean? It's that undying fucking, I'll get that motherfucker. I'll fucking get him. You got to look at all those too. And then after you look at all those, then you need to write down all of your sexual inventory. Not your conquests, but how you hurt yourself through sexual activity. High-risk behavior, sleeping with people with STIs or STDs. Then after you look at that, you have to now make a list of all the other people that you've hurt that don't fit within those categories. Then once all that's done, then you need to make a list of your responsibility in all of it. And when you get that, then you go and talk to somebody. And they're going to show you where all of your responsibility is and all your blind spots. Then once you do that, then you go back to God, your higher power that you've been trusting all this time. And you're going to say, get rid of this for me. And it could be things like guilt, shame, all of these shitty feelings that you have. And you're going to ask God, you've been showing me how to get through 5 minutes of not using or not jonesing for drugs. Show me how to get rid of this shit. And I promise you at that moment, your obsession will be gone. I promise you, if you do it correctly and you get a good guide to take you through that stuff, your obsession will be gone. And then you'll be ready to make amends to yourself. And then when you make amends to yourself, you'll be able to live it through because you will recognize innately that that amends is truly providing love to you. And then once that ends up happening, then you go and you meditate. And you meditate to your higher power and you take inventory every day to make sure you're on the right track, and you talk you talk about that inventory with your guide for the first little while. And you make sure you meditate in the beginning of every morning on what your day is going to look like, how you're going to envision your relapse prevention plan, and then you're going to tell everybody about it. And that's how you're going to find conclusion within those issues. That's how you get rid of negative behaviors. It's worked for me for not just drugs and alcohol. It's worked for me on many different things. I practice those principles in all my daily affairs. And my blind spot was my diet up until now. And now that I'm actually practicing it towards the diet.
So do you think like an underlying resentment towards like my dad
100%.
could be like fueling
100%.
a shitty diet?
100%.
Could be fueling procrastination and smoking.
Smoking. Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Actually, if you look at it, I started smoking right when I stopped talking to him.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Remember when I started smoking again? I was like, right when I first started coming around on the podcast,
Yeah.
and you looked at me, you're like, what is it about yourself that you hate so much that you have to kill yourself with smoking?
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck asks questions like that? Because that was like so deep.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, that was heavy for me. You know?
But
and I'm still fucking smoking.
But it's kind of a reality, right? Because it's not the action that the action is dictating.
An internal conflict.
Well, and it's also dictating that you have no respect for yourself.
It is like
well, let me put it to you this way: if you saw your girls smoking,
my daughters,
yeah,
I'd fucking lose it.
Now, but let me ask you this: why is it that it's not okay for them to smoke, but it's okay for you to? You love them so much that you would never want them to hurt themselves that way, right?
Yeah.
See? Now, why is it so? So again, we always say that if you can't really love yourself, you can't love anybody else. Your love is a facade to all those out there. If you cannot provide that love to yourself, right? It becomes this hypocritical thought of do as I say, not as I do.
I fucking hate that saying.
That's right. But what are your actions dictating?
Fuck me.
And I always say that your actions are way louder than any word that you can say.
I wonder how everybody listening feels about like we have these like therapeutic sessions where I'm like doing this self-realization
but
and you're coaching.
But it's the same thing. It's the same thing with your codependence, right? When you were looking at your codependence, you recognized right away that the way that you're treating your relationships is the way that you're treating yourself. And if anything, you're treating yourself shittier than you're treating your relationships. And you're fucking dependent on all these people. So how do you become independent? Well, you need to deal with your shit. And you're not going to deal with your shit and saying, I dealt with it. Words don't matter. You have to have action. See, I made amends.
So the action comes from creating the list, like doing the inventory, creating the list.
Well, let's sit down and we'll do a set of steps and you'll see.
Yeah.
Let's go through a set of steps and then you'll see.
When's your next seminar? Weekend seminar for steps?
I'll do one-on-one with you.
Okay.
So you don't have to be around other people.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you'll see it. Like, and I've said this many, many times, man. Anybody who sits through the 3 days, it's a profound change. You are not the same person by the end of it. Where people lose it is they stop. They get a taste of something that is like so fucking incredible by day 2. By day 2, they're like, oh my God, life is fucking great. And then you send them on out to do their own amends and they shit the bed. That's where everybody shits the bed.
They cowered out.
But see, the proof is in the pudding because you had to rely on God to do your inventory and you had to rely on God in order to do your confession, and you did it. He ain't letting you down for the rest of it. We're the ones who walk away. Time and time and time again, we walk away from the concept of our own higher power. I'm not talking about a Catholic God. I'm not talking about an evangelical God or an Islamic God or a fucking Hindi God or Buddha or any of that. It's your conception of God. Mm-hmm. And even in your own conception of God, you'll walk the fuck away. You'll walk away. The only people that I've ever seen really successful are those, like I said, like, it's not easy doing an inventory of yourself every day and being honest about it because you're not perfect and that's how your blind spots come out. But at the same time, it's okay to surrender and say, my diet is way bigger than me. And I've recognized that it's way bigger than me and I need help. I'm fucking swimming in the deep end here, man. And when I realized that, I ran right away to my concept of God, saying, you have to help me with this. This is your temple, and you got to show me how to fucking fix this shit, man. Because I don't have a fucking clue what I'm doing. And as soon as I did that, that's when I took my inventory of, well, what is it that you don't like? What is it that you hate? Who are you so angry with? And I realized it's not that I'm angry with anybody. I'm not angry with anybody. You know, I don't have a resentment. You know, what I was actually doing was I was self-sabotaging. That's really what I was doing. And why was I doing it? Because I thought I knew best. That's what I was doing. I thought I knew. Fuck, I was a fighter. I know how to diet. Yet all the time on the fucking show, I've been saying all this time, I don't want to work out like that anymore. Christ, you know what I've been doing? Ridiculous.
You still work out too much.
It's ridiculous. Well, the diet shit is ridiculous.
Bro, an hour and 20 minutes is too much.
That's walking from thing to thing, though.
So what?
It's about an hour. I would say I'm about an hour. Honestly.
Okay.
The time that I'm in the building is like an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And that can be like putting on my shorts, all that shit, right?
Yeah.
Like it's all part of that. So all I'm getting at is when I realized that, I realized, okay, well, I need to have God take away these undesirable things that I have going on. And one of them was ego. Fucking mass ego. I know best. No, you don't, you fucking idiot. You don't know shit, son. If you knew, you wouldn't be where the fuck you are.
Well, it's almost like...
But I also realized that I wasn't appreciating where I am. I wanted more than what was happening.
Yeah, I always feel like I want more.
That's because we haven't accepted what it is that we have. You need to accept in order to move on. You can't shoot for the stars and not accept what you have. You'll make it there, but you have to accept what you have. You have to be realistic of where you're starting from.
Yeah.
And then once I did that and I wrote the amends, like I said, next day I dropped 3 pounds. Boom. My body's like, okay, yeah, you acknowledge me now? That's exactly how it felt, you know? And I think about it, like I said, I think about it before I walk out. Am I angry, hungry, lonely, tired? Is there anything that I can do so that my body won't be upset as I'm going out throughout my day? And I know it sounds so fucking minuscule, but it's
cliche.
That's what that program is all about, man. And you know what? Say what you want. I don't know how it works, why it works, but it fucking works. You know, like I know somebody right now, very, very personal to me.
It's hard, though. It's hard.
Who quit smoking using a set of steps.
It's fucking hard to do 12 steps. Like, to be that honest with yourself is difficult.
Rigorous honesty is very difficult.
It's fucking, like...
And this is why, my sponsors told me this a long time ago. I was like, well, how do you get rid of shitty sponsees? It's like, just be you, man. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, they're not going to want your honesty.
Yeah.
They're just not. And they'll stop calling for advice. Because this is the thing. You're not bullshitting them. You call me for advice and I tell you what to do. You can't say to me, oh, Justin, you've never done that. Fucking rights I have.
Yeah.
I know exactly the fucking fear that you have in that moment about doing what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And Joe Rogan said it. You want what I have? I laugh as I tell you, come here. I'm laughing because you have not a fucking clue how much work it's going to take. I laugh because the likelihood of you making it through to the end, I mean, I'll show you. And I'm not going to deprive you of any information that I'll give you all of it. But in the end, the likelihood of your success is 1 in 10. But the success that has that one, buddy, you're in the 5th fucking dimension. That's where you are. Most people are in the 3rd and 4th dimension. You learn this rigorous honesty, and you're definitely rocking in the 5th dimension. You're okay with being critiqued. Doesn't bother you. You're okay with it's not really being criticized. It's critiqued. You're okay to say to somebody, so my pitch last week, I fucked it up. What did I do wrong? And you're okay to hear that from that person. That person, you'll win them over because you're looking for that honesty.
Yeah, because you're humble.
And they'll fucking tell you.
Yeah.
But humbleness didn't come from practicing it. It came from being honest. right? Like
Yeah.
humbleness is not something, or humility is not about, it's not about anything that's like, you practice it by being honest with yourself and seeking the next hard question. Why is it you hate yourself, Kenny? Right? That's the next hard question. Why? Why? It's a mind bender. And when you're constantly seeking the next hard question, and you do it after some time, all of a sudden it becomes you. And like I said, I asked my sponsor a long time ago, how do you get rid of shitty sponsees? And he said, just be you, man. You're with us now. Just be you. Practice your spiritual practice your spirituality on a contingent basis, day to day. It's only for today. You can lose it all tomorrow, but today it's going pretty fucking good.
Who would have thought that diet nutrition would work me into yet another spiritual practice of self-development? Hey?
Well, it's kind of why, like I said the same thing. Like I would have never gone down the line of homeopathy. And I'm going this week. Like the shit that you were talking about, I'm going in this week. So like next week's show, you and I will be talking about, actually we have somebody coming in the show next week that is a homeopathic guy. Hopefully he'll sit down with us and that'll be a good, we'll talk about this stuff.
We got a professional bodybuilder coming in too.
Yeah, well, this show's actually after that.
Oh, yeah.
So yesterday, we had a professional bodybuilder coming in the show.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's one of those things, though, like I said, and I've said this before, contempt prior to an investigation is a shitty attitude to have. You know, like, I don't ever want to say no to something without knowing. Yeah. I'll only say no because I definitively know that that's going to, it's like drugs and alcohol. I have enough research under my belt to know that if I use drugs and alcohol, I'm going to fuck my life up. I have that research. It's down. Yeah. You know, I know that I have enough research under my belt that there's mathematical equations that just don't work for certain situations. I know that. I went to school and I learned that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I also know that dieting, I have enough research to know that dieting is not going to work for me in a long haul. It's going to fuck me up.
Yeah, it has a counter effect. It's
100%.
Every time I've ever like deprived myself of anything, I fucking gave in and fucking did way more of it.
Well, and see, this is the thing that so when I ask people in addiction, I say, well, is your clock on?
Are you counting days, you mean?
Yeah.
I stopped counting days. Like, I do not count days.
So this is what I've learned is if I ask, okay, is your clock on? And they'll say, what do you mean? I'll be like, are you counting days? Like how long you've been not using for it? And they say, yeah. And I'll say, well, that's your clock to your next relapse. I said, what do you mean? And this is the way how I put it is if you're counting days, it's because you're thinking in a mode of depravity. You haven't accepted that it's not giving you anything good. Okay? You haven't made that psychological change in your mind.
Well, what happens if you say, like, instead of being 300 days sober, say you're like, I'm 300 days living the best life ever.
You're still counting time. It's the counting. So like, I know that I'm over 5 years sober only because my anniversary of getting sober is the last day I was ever arrested.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So August 15th is that's my sober birthday, so to say. And I count it by
How
years
long
now.
You've been out of jail, yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But some people, it's not even that. The only reason why you have the anniversary date is so that you can kind of tell people, like, imagine how powerful that is when you're in early recovery, you go into a meeting and you hear some asshole, I'll never forget this. There's this guy in a meeting and he had like 23 years sobriety. And he says, and I'm a first-time kicker. My eyes got huge like hoarders when he said that. I was like, what? Because I'm a first-time kicker. And everybody in the room fucking relapses. And I was like, fuck, man, if this guy can get that kind of time together, so can I. It gave me a way out not to believe that I had to relapse to be with these fuckheads. You know, that's what it taught me right then and there. And it was like, we're far and few in between, but we might be a little bit more fucked up than the rest of them. Because
yeah, I can second that. You are for sure.
I mean, there's a reason why we didn't go out. You know, I think we were really sold on the concept that if I use one more time, I'm dead.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why relapse isn't a part of my story. And God willing, it won't be. I mean, I know that it could be around the corner at any time, you know. And just like my food addiction, that like I could relapse after we get off this mic. I could be like, fuck it, I'm going to go get cake because I'm working out. You know what I mean?
You want some
like
Doritos? I got an open bag of Doritos right
fuck
here.
no. Corn chips are nasty, buddy.
I got a pulled pork sandwich in my bag.
Fuck that. I don't need any of that. But it is strange. I think it's strange that we didn't expect the spirituality twist to happen this way with diet and nutrition.
Yeah, it definitely took a turn.
100% it did, because if you listen to the first episode, we weren't talking this way.
No.
It was a lot different.
So, like, diet and nutritional health really comes down to a spiritual practice of loving yourself.
Fucked up. That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, because we also made the premise so that we weren't going to come up with diets. We're going to come up with a meal plan. And that's fine. I mean, meal plans are great. I mean, my whole thing was about finding my best diet. That's
Bro,
what
I have
wanted.
a hard time planning tomorrow, let alone planning a meal plan for fucking a length of period of time.
See, and that was my whole thing was, what is my health? What's my healthy? And I'm starting to recognize that my healthy starts from an emotional state. Laura was the big contributor to that in the first show, really. You know? Like she fucking, her shit was pretty mind blowing how she coupled emotional stability with your eating, you know? And then to find out that she was okay with hunting and shit and she eats this plant-based diet, I give her mad fucking respect for that, man.
Yeah, she was really cool.
We have some venison coming in too.
What's that?
Deer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to cook you up some venison.
Sick.
Yeah,
You're a good cook, man.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, let's do this.
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks everybody for listening. Please subscribe and share with all your friends. I repeat, please subscribe and share with all your friends. You can find the After the Show blog at www.lifeonlifestermspodcast.com. Please subscribe by dropping your email.
We won't sell it to anybody. That's not what we do here. We don't sell it to any of our sponsors or any of the people that contribute for shout outs, any of that stuff. We don't sell it to anybody. So on that note, happy Friday, everybody.
Thank you. Love you.
Peace.